All right, everybody. What's up? What's up? It's your girl Cassiopeia of theblackmall.com. And today is by Black Friday. And we are super excited because we have another amazing business owner that we love to showcase to you all. Brother L. Michael Flanagan of Flanagan Injury Law Group, right? Did I say that correctly? Because I'm so used to WindyCityInjury.com.
You got it. You got it. You got it,
All
Cassie. You know what you're doing.
Perfect, perfect. Well, how are you today?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It's Friday. It's Black History Month. It's
Come
2021.
on.
We have a lot to be thankful for. It might be a little cold outside in the shop, but I definitely feel good. I put my salt down. I shoveled a little snow this morning, so
Listen,
hey, listen. I
you
know I ain't
gotta
gonna
put
slip
it
when I
down.
come out the crib.
It was so cold here this morning that my fiance put it down and he was like, and it didn't melt.
Yeah, yeah. I looked outside. My salt ain't no neither, but you know, we're gonna do
That's
it.
all
Right.
good. Yes, but we getting it together. I'm glad you look warm, you're staying warm, you got your tea. You keeping it real cozy right now.
You see this? Celebrate the small victories. We just gotta roll with the punches.
That's beautiful. That's exactly right. Celebrate the small victories and all victories. We appreciate everybody that you guys are watching, coming in, keep coming into the room, share this broadcast, at some people, tag some people. Let's talk about another amazing Black owned business. So, how do you want to be addressed with the L Michael? Do you just want the Michael? Like, how should everybody address you?
Well, the L stands for lawyer, so just kidding. Um,
Oh,
now you can call me Michael, you can call me L Michael. But
nice.
the
I had
main
not
thing
a
is I
I'm
don't
used
want
to
people to
people
call
being,
me. Yeah, just
black people
call
like
me.
to use that Esquire.
Right.
Black attorneys like to have that, because it sounds fancy, Attorney Michael Flanagan Esquire. Right, right. Choke your neck up and everything.
After 3, 4 years of law school and being in this business, certainly the Esquire, you kind of smooth it out, and law school is definitely rough. So after you get past that in the bar exam, everything else is smooth. So that's why we add that Esquire on the end. Esquire.
Come on now, you got that right. You earned it. It's kind of like, pledging. I'm sure. But you was playing way longer than we do to get through a sorority or fraternity. The
Exactly.
haze, the haze is real. So let's start from back then. Okay. So what college did you go to?
I went to the Howard University, HU, hashtag be clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
HU,
you are
Howard
a
University.
Howard man right there. So right, is y'all the real HU or is Hampton the real HU? Which one is it?
Come on now. Come on now. Oh, no. So, we are in Black History Month, so let me educate y'all about
Okay.
Howard and Hampton. Howard started off, it was actually founded by the Freedmen's Bureau back in 1867 by General Howard. And basically, Congress appropriated this university to help educate newly freed individuals, newly freed slaves. Um,
Mm,
and so Howard was founded in Washington, D.C. It's the only HBCU that gets government funding. So every couple of
really?
years, yes, yeah. So every couple of years, Congress appropriates a certain amount of dollars to Howard. Hampton, on the other hand, obviously is in Virginia, 7 roads, 7 cities, whatever they call it, Norfolk area by the coast. Great school,
Mhm.
beautiful place. As far as where it's located, um, excellent area of the country, very
Uh-huh.
prestigious alumni. But it was founded as Hampton Institute, and later on they tried to change their name to like Hampton University. But we
Right.
got the real HU. I say all that to say that little Black history lesson, a little snippet. It was just to say that Howard University is the real HU.
I appreciate that that Black History lesson in Black History Month. That's dope. My nephew actually he graduated from Hampton, but I know so. I went to You know, I went to Whitney Young, so I know a lot of
Okay.
folks that went to Howard. You know, so that's pretty dope. So when you were at Howard, did you always know that you wanted to be a lawyer? Is that what you originally went to Howard for?
That yeah, I did actually. So I decided I wanted to be a lawyer probably around the age of 16 or 17 years old.
Wow.
Um, Originally, I wanted to be a sports agent. I wanted to be a sports lawyer, right? Growing up in
Okay.
Chicago, watching the Bulls in the 90s.
Was you a
Was
hooper?
what? Yeah, of course, of
Okay.
course. Hey, used to shoot threes and play D. And all my
Ah,
guys who were probably watching, all my homies can say, yeah. Bless, he did. He did have that lefty jumper. I'm left-handed too, so shout out to
so you
Jay
thought you
Z,
were
Bill
extra
Clinton,
special.
Obama. What'd you say?
So you thought you were extra special,
I did, and I still do think I'm extra special. Um,
as you should.
you only live once, right?
You got
So,
that right.
but yeah, no. As soon as I got to Howard, I definitely knew that I wanted to become an attorney, and I had to figure out, what I wanted to major in. And originally, I majored in political science, and that was kind of boring, so I dropped that major, and I actually got into a little bit of trouble freshman year, and my
Okay.
mom had to hire me an attorney.
Mm.
And you know, even though it was like a situation where it was like I was his client, I was still interviewing him, like, hey, so if I want to be an attorney, what should I do, et cetera, et cetera? Kind of like, what was your role, right? I was in trouble, but I was still kind of like focused on
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. And to make a long story short, he was like, you need to be an excellent writer if you want to becoming an attorney. So I wound up majoring in print journalism, which, as you know, you're a journalist. It encompasses both the broadcast side and the print side.
Yeah.
And so I enrolled in the School of Communications at Howard and honed my writing skills, honed
Wow.
my interviewing skills, and a lot of those skills just going up and talking to people and kind of like, being able to understand and communicate with people, both verbally and written, are skills that I use today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty dope. I mean, the fact that you knew you wanted to go to law school and you found that tidbit and he let you know that writing was really important to be a lawyer. You went and got a communications degree, right? And you dropped out of being a poli sci degree, which you think is the normal path towards
Right.
going to law school. But I think the fact that you chose to get that communications degree makes you even more well-rounded. And writing is a very serious skill. You say I'm in media, and I appreciate you saying I'm a journalist, but I am not. I'm a great speaker, but writing is something that I've had to start really learning. And although I went to Whitney Young and they taught us how to write, I can write a paper, but there's an art to telling a story
Mm-hmm.
via the pen and paper. And so that's something that proves to be a little bit, I had to take a little bit more time. I could talk the story all day, but
Mm-hmm.
writing it down and making sure that it reads well is a different thing. So I really love hearing, the pathway for you and the other skills you were able to pick up towards going to law school. So what law school did you end up going to?
So I wound up going to Loyola here in Chicago.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
Loyola.
dope. That's
Mhm.
dope. My pledge daughter went to Loyola, so that's really, really. Did you like it up there?
I did, I did. Loyola's in the Gold Coast. It's like right across the street from like the Bentley dealership. So that was like motivation.
Come
When you
on.
$100,000 to go to law school, you want to be like, you know what? I see myself going there. So, um, you know, uh, it's a great neighborhood. You
Yeah.
eat lunch at the Water Tower. When you're in law school and kind of get to know, the neighborhood. And I used to take the red line to law school. I used to have to because I lived in Hyde Park, so I took the 6 or the 28 downtown,
Mhm.
and then got off at like Lake Street and took the red line to school every day for about 3.5 years. So
Ah,
yeah, I enjoy Loyola.
Yes, you taking me back to my college days and high school days and taking the red line. I went to Whitney Young and then I went to UIC. Well, I went to the Ohio State University first, but
Oh,
I got
oh.
homesick, came back home and went to UIC. So that red line is very near and dear to me.
Mhm.
Lots of experiences from being on the red line. Okay, so you go to Howard, you then go to Loyola, and you graduate. Now, I got a quick question. Did you graduate within the time slot that they say you should graduate, or you kind of like some of us, like myself, that was like a super duper senior and it took me a while?
I wasn't a super duper senior, but I definitely was a super senior.
Okay.
When I got to Howard, I immediately looked around. I was on the yard and I was like, this is the place where I want to be for 5 years.
Okay.
Um, and I'm glad I did, even though it cost me a little bit of extra money in student loans.
Yeah.
Um, I was 17 years old when I got to Howard. So, looking back at that time and looking at 17-year-olds now, I realized, like, wow, you were super young, super immature, away from home. So I probably needed that 5 years to kind of get ready for the world. And that's what my, education, it did for me. It wasn't just, the books, as we know, most of us who go to HBCUs or college period, if you go away to college, even if you stay here, it's not just um, it's not just the education in terms of the curriculum. It's all the social interactions and learning how to work and go to school and becoming an adult. And so we definitely look back on those years and say, wow,
Yes. I think
wow,
we
that's
say
right,
more than
wow.
wow. We did all of that. All right. So right now you've come out of Loyola, and so did you start your own practice right away, or did you work for another law firm? Did you intern somewhere? What was your path for that?
So when I finished at Howard, just to back up a little, um, I had the opportunity to go straight through to law school or work for a little while and go back later. And so that was a decision that I made. And I said, hey, you know what? I want to, get out and get some real world experience before I go back to law school. So I actually worked. I began a career in radio advertising sales.
Okay.
And so at the time, this was like 04, 05, like Power 92 was like a really big, thing in Chicago. And I was like, that's
Yes.
the radio station I want to work for because I was in the School of Communications and they kind of, hooked us up with opportunities to work for different radio stations across the country. And
Hmm.
so I was like really trying to get in with Power 92. It didn't work out. And so I got offered a job in Greenville, South Carolina.
Hmm.
And that's where I started my radio advertising sales career. So I used to sell ad time.
Nice.
Behold, about 8 or 9 months later, Power 92 called me like, hey, we got a job for you here in Chicago. Do you want to come home? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to come back and work for like the biggest hip hop radio station at the time in the city.
Yeah.
When everybody was listening to the radio, a whole
Yeah.
different
Right.
um, world from where we're at now. Where Facebook wasn't even around then, or it was just getting started.
Yeah. It
Um,
was about to get started. Yeah.
yeah, like
2006.
05, 06. Yeah. So I say all that to say that, to make a long story short, I wound up working in radio advertising sales for about 7 years before I went back to law school.
Really?
I did.
That's
Yeah.
the path. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It was
then
a
what
hell
made you go ahead and switch back and go back to law school? Yeah, because I mean, if you're doing well and working in sales and advertising, with a radio station for 7 years, yeah, where does that switch come in to say, okay, I'm gonna go back to law school?
Well, it was just time to step it up a level. I kind of knew what I wanted for my life. I knew that I could practice law for the rest of my life and that I didn't have to necessarily change careers after I got into the legal field. So um, I felt like I got everything that I could out of radio. I went to all the concerts and met some celebrities, made some money, and
Yeah.
most importantly, and I encourage anyone that's listening right now, whatever job you have, whatever path you're down right now, whether you're an entrepreneur or you actually work a 9 to 5, try to use that particular path to get skill sets to get you to the next point that you want to go in life. And so I
Yeah.
knew that being a radio advertising salesperson was going to, again, expand my network, help me communicate with people, help me learn about marketing and advertising, et cetera. And so I kind of finessed that into law school, and the rest is history. But yeah, that's my
Okay.
path.
All right. So you went to law school, and then again, so right after, so after you finished law school, did you work for another law firm? How did you get to the path to having your own firm yourself?
Good question. So when I went to law school, I was trying to figure, I was like, what kind of lawyer do I want to be? Again, I was like sports and entertainment. I was just so caught up being, I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer and a sports lawyer, sports agent. And, Chicago is a very challenging market to break into entertainment and sports as an attorney.
Mm.
There are some opportunities, but most of the sports and entertainment lawyers, like the powerhouses, are on the coast, right? Either in LA or New York. So, I wound up going to a couple of conferences and meeting some different Black attorneys, and a lot of the more successful Black attorneys, like Benjamin Crump, who I had a chance to meet and build with, Willie Gary down in Florida, and even I didn't have a chance to meet him personally, but I studied his path, and even Johnny Cochran. They did essentially what I do now, which they did personal injury and civil rights cases and police
Okay.
brutality cases. And so, to answer your question, when I finished law school, I found opportunities to again learn from attorneys who practice in those areas. And so I wound up working for two very prestigious firms before I started my own firm.
Okay. All right. So tell us now. So, because I'm like, man, these minutes go by so fast.
Right. We got 2 more minutes.
Yes. So, okay, now you're in, and that's okay because I told you I'm going to have you on Culture Clash, and we're going to tell everybody to get the rest of the story there. But you said you went into law and injury. How do you? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry because I'm about to step in your business.
No.
That's all I need.
Okay.
I'm like, wait a minute. First I thought you was on the phone. Then I'm like, wait a minute. She all over some stuff.
Hold on, who's that? Don't be interrupting Cassie during her live.
That's my mother-in-law. She do whatever she wants to
do. Sorry, man.
Right. So no, I was saying, okay. So now you chose to do injury and loss. So now you're in the thick of it. Tell us, about how are you really servicing people out here? How are you helping the community with this? Why is it so important?
Man, it's amazing. This profession and this particular practice area of personal injury and helping people when a loved one passes away or is a victim of medical malpractice, or when someone is a victim of a police shooting or police brutality. It's such a blessing because so many things happen to people every day. No one ever expects anything to happen to them. Like, you don't walk out the door expecting to get into a car accident or expecting to lose a loved one. But the fact is, those things happen every day. And,
Uh-oh. You froze up. I'm hoping you come back.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys see like the billboards and the television commercials, but to be an African-American attorney, being able to empathize and advise my clients on an everyday basis, I would say one of the main attributes that I bring to the table is that I really actually do passionately care, and I can relate to people in different situations and different walks of life because I've been in so many different walks of life, and so to be able to have the power and control to be able to help somebody to be able to get justice and ultimately help people financially who are wronged or whose loved ones are wrong. It's not just about the money or the legal system. It's about making a connection between two people. And when you hire a lawyer, that person is somebody who you are with for 2 or 3, 4 years, and sometimes those relationships go towards towards relationships for life. And so, just being able to give people advice on an everyday basis. They don't call attorneys counselors for nothing. It's not just a legal. You're actually counseling people on what to do, you know, and a lot of stuff is, you know, a lot of the questions that we get are not questions that are specific to my practice area, but I always try to go out of my way to assist people. And I always like to tell people, if I can't help you, I definitely know somebody who can.
That's awesome. So tell us really quickly, what are the different services that you provide with Flanagan Injury Law Firm?
So Flanagan Injury Law Group primarily focuses on catastrophic injuries. So, and again, nobody ever expects to be involved in a catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fact is, stuff happens every day. We also prosecute claims for wrongful death. So, and you know, I know these terms sound very general and kind of like legal terms, but the fact is that there's so many different ways in which somebody can be injured. You know, it could be a fall at work. It could be a car accident. You know, there's so many ways that a loved one could pass away. And, you know, a lot of times, some of our people don't have life insurance. We don't have the proper type of insurance. So coming to a lawyer is the only compensation that an individual can actually get, either for their injury or for their loved one's injury or death. So, you know, cases like medical malpractice cases, I'm working on a couple of those in which women were having children and the doctors did something negligent at the hospital and the child passed away. I mean, those situations are unfathomable and things that no one would wish upon anyone. But the fact is, in a lot of these situations, we can't change what happened, but all we can do is try to move forward with what we do have and ultimately try to get justice and compensation for the victims.
You got that right. I love that. You can say that again. Get justice and compensation for the catastrophe that you or your family has gone through. So, and Black people need so much more of that.
We do. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, a lot of us are the ones that are involved in the car accidents or are the ones that are victims of medical malpractice or police shootings or police brutality. Yeah. So it's a never ending, you know, cycle of people who I service in this particular capacity that I'm in. And so we do our best. And again, you know, we can't take every case. Every time somebody goes into the hospital, or every car accident is not a case that we can take, you know. But a lot of times it's just as simple as being able to talk to somebody to understand what happened and what they can do about it, you know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Tell everybody a phone number that they can have for you as well.
So my office number is 773-789-8 law, LAW, 789-8 law. That's 773-789-8529. And of course, I'm available on the World Wide Web, www.windycityinjury.com.
I thank you so much for being here with us again today. You are awesome. You're excellent. Everybody, if you guys need any assistance, if you suffered from medical malpractice, any injuries, police brutality, anything involving, a catastrophe, please reach out to L. That stands for lawyer. Michael Flanagan, Esquire of Flanagan Law Group. And my little one crept back in here. I thought I had
your little one.
So she's saying hi as well. So say bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Happy Black History Month, everybody.
All right. Peace.
Out to the people.